Here are 8 different Sith Lords that you've probably never heard of. From the master of Darth Sidious's master, Darth Tenebrous, to Darth Drear, who never killed a soul in his life, to Darth Krayt, who was a Tusken Raider Jedi that survived Order 66 and started a Sith Empire decades after the fall of the Empire. This is just a taste of the strangest Sith characters, and that's saying something considering we already have people like Chimere in canon. Darth Tenebrous, also known as Ruges Gnome, was a male Bith who held the title of Dark Lord of the Sith for more than a century, stemming from the lineage of Darth Bane. In his public persona as Ruges Gnome, he was a legendary artisanal starship designer with a galaxy-spanning reputation. As the Sith Lord Darth Tenebrous, he was a scientific mastermind possessed of a calculating intellect with an obsession on shaping the future, and was the master of Darth Plagueis and Darth Venomous, the former betraying and killing him by collapsing a cavern over his head when the two were endangered by a mining probe droid, which set off an explosion, and Plagueis then murdered the distracted Sith. And sadly, Darth Tenebrous was not known for playing cantina music on Tatooine, but every Bith from now on you should remember Darth Tenebrous, who very well could be hiding in the shadows back from the dead. Darth Drear was a male Sith Lord of human or Sith pure blood descent who served the reconstituted Sith Empire around 4645 BBY. He founded a Sith Academy on the planet Oda-Sur Foston and worked his students to death as they labored in the construction of the Academy. Beneath the Academy library, Drear built a temple where he practiced Sith alchemy and searched for a pathway to immortality. He developed an elixir to fulfill his goal, effectively creating a disease that turned all those infected into zombies, which was knowledge he recorded into a holocron. Before Drear could successfully implement the final stage of his project, however, he succumbed to the effects of the disease and died. And if you don't want to be infected by this disease, then hit that subscribe button. Or else. Moving on to Darth Cognus, the Huntress as she was originally known, was a female Iktachi assassin who operated in the years following the end of the New Sith Wars. An impeccable record of success saw the Huntress employed by Lucia, a bodyguard working for the royal house of the planet Doan. After efficiently honoring her contract with Lucia, the Huntress was then hired by the bodyguard's charge, Princess Sarah, to track down Darth Bane, the only surviving Dark Lord of the Sith of the war of 20 years prior. With a score of mercenaries allotted to her by Sarah, the Huntress ambushed Bane and immobilized him with Sinflax poison, and then took him into custody and delivered him to the stone prison on Doan. Bane would be freed, and she would pledge herself to him, but after a duel with his former apprentice Darth Zana, the Huntress, now called Darth Cognus, would submit herself to Darth Zana when Bane was killed. Cognus ascended to Sith Mastery years later, taking the three-eyed human mutant Darth Millennial as her apprentice. And Millennial was powerful in the Force and had the ability to see the future. However, he and his master disagreed on many aspects about the Sith, and Millennial became disillusioned with the rule of two, which he felt was far too restrictive, and saw far more sense in Lord Khan's rule by the strong. Eventually, he left his enraged master and founded the Dark Force religion. Darth Desolous was a male Pauan Jedi Master prior to becoming a Sith Lord. Born around 3522 BBY, he studied Sith teachings and fell to the dark side of the Force. He was expelled from the Jedi Order. As a Dark Lord of the Sith, Darth Desolous swore revenge on the Jedi and assembled an army of Pauans whom he trained in martial arts and used in his fight against the Order. Desolous and his forces slew almost 2,000 Jedi until they were crushed by the Jedi Order during a battle on the planet Yaga Minor. During the battle, Desolous was killed. However, a simulacrum of Desolous was later incorporated into the Jedi Temple's Trial of Skill program. In 3 BBY, the program activated itself and fought Sith Lord Darth Vader's secret apprentice, Starkiller, and was defeated by him. and I feel like if any species was suspicious of birthing Sith, it would be the Powans. I mean, just look at the hygiene on these guys. But Darth Andeddu, also referred to as the immortal god king of the Plagueis, was an ancient humanoid male who reigned as Dark Lord of the Sith and was dubiously thought of as the forebearer of the Darth title. A paranoid man, Andeddu believed that his subordinate Sith lords, whom he regarded as his enemies, wanted to claim his vast collection of Sith lore and ritual for themselves. He was eventually betrayed and overthrown by his followers, forcing him to flee the planet Korriban for the Deep Core. Andeddu made the world of Plagueis his domain, where he ruled for centuries as a deity until his physical demise, at which time he entombed himself in an attempt to deprive his pursuers of the power they sought to steal. But real quick, here's the Christian advice of this video. If you want to get back to the main video looking at some obscure Sith Lords, then you can skip to this time right here. Now today I was reading Esdras, and I discovered something I found very interesting, and I don't remember the exact quote, but the idea was that with true faith in God and by doing true acts of faith in the name of God on sort of a routine basis, there's a certain way we can have a confidence that sort of overcomes fear and doubt, which are, definitely something that plague those who do a lot of work in the name of what they believe in the name of God. And that is the idea that if you do something enough times, and if you're truly, doing something that is faithful to God and God is with you during that act, then there's absolutely no way whatsoever that it won't happen, because you've seen it every time. For me, I think a good practice that I do is I have sort of acts of faith I try to do every single day. Some of them are more disciplinary, while some of them are more just reading the Bible. I read the Bible, I try and do things like very intense workouts, specific calisthenics workouts that are very trying in the sense that they're very difficult to do. But there is a certain one that I've been doing basically every day for multiple years that's kind of stayed the same for the last year, where I basically do 100 push-ups in a row at the beginning of it. And for a lot of people that would seem fairly difficult, but since I literally do it every day, it's I just know this will happen because it always does happen. So I feel like there is some confidence you could get from that idea. Sorry, I don't have the exact quote for it right now. And I am actually excited to announce that even though I have been in the Apocrypha for a while, reading through that just because it's in my Bible, and I was I'm not going to feel satisfied if I don't read everything. I'm about to get to the New Testament, get some good Jesus advice, so I'm very hyped about that. I've been waiting a long time for New Testament, I've been reading through the Bible, Old Testament up, since July 2023, so it's gonna be nice to finally get some New Testament in there for sure. But yeah, getting back to the video, just a quick reminder, you can leave a like on this video if you are enjoying it, because it does very much help me out and send this out to more people. But yeah, let's get back to talking about Sith Lords. Darth Krayt, on the other hand, born Asharid Het, revered as the Dragon of the Sith, and known to some members of the Skywalker family as the Dark Man, was a long-lived, Force-sensitive human male who served as both a Jedi Master and General in the waning days of the Galactic Republic, and as Dark Lord of the Sith following the fall of Darth Sidious. In between these roles, he also served as the commander of his father's tribe of Tusken Raiders, as well as a bounty hunter. The son of legendary Jedi Knight Sharad Het and his wife Keshik, both of whom lived among the Tusken Raiders of Tatooine, he eventually became the Padawan of Jedi Masters Ki-Adi-Mundi and later Anya Kuro. Het eventually fell to the dark side after capture and torture by the Yuuzhan Vong, and soon proclaimed himself Dread Lord and Dark Lord of the Sith, taking the name Darth Krayt. As Krayt, he became the founder and leader of the One Sith during the period of the Vong invasion. He kept the existence of his rebuilt Sith Order hidden from the Jedi for a century by cloaking their presence on Korriban. Darth Krayt ruled the galaxy with an iron fist for 7 years, before the alliance between rightful Emperor Rowan Fel and Galactic Alliance Admiral Gar Stazai threatened his usurped rule. Furthermore, Krayt discovered the existence and survival of a Skywalker. decayed, and Krayt feared that with these deteriorating conditions and his bad health, this would lead to his demise before his dream was finished. In the ensuing years, he was killed once by Darth Rylock, and then again by Cade Skywalker, ending his reign. And you gotta give it to this guy. I mean, he went through arguably more than even Yoda, as he survived multiple galactic turns for and against him. And under Darth Krayt was Darth Nihl, who was a former Nagai warlord, and Nihl had been recruited into the One Sith by Darth Krayt and was initially made his fist or military leader. However, this changed when Krayt's hand or enforcer died, and Nihl was promoted to the position in 130 ABY as a result. One of Nihil's first missions was leading an assault on the Jedi Praxium at Ossus, in which he was killed by Jedi Master Cole Skywalker and mortally wounded by the Zabrak Master Wolf Sazin. Nihl returned to Coruscant and participated in Krayt's ascension to Galactic Emperor, in which the former Emperor of the Fel Empire, Roan Fel, was thought to be slain, although he actually survived. And over the next 7 years, Nihl acted as Krayt's top enforcer over the galaxy until the Dark Lord promoted another, Darth Talon, to also serve in the position of Hand. So these were 8 of the most obscure Sith Lords, and while many of you Legends fans surely knew about Darth Tenebrous and Darth Krayt as well, I'm sure there are definitely some of you that did not know about Darth Andeddu, as well as Darth Drear. But I don't know, hopefully there was something interesting in here for all of you. But anyway, that's it for this video. If you enjoyed this one, then you might also like this video I did, where I looked at the best user of each lightsaber form, 1 through 7. But yeah, see ya.